Well, hello again. Welcome back to Maniac Math with Mrs. Carell. Make sure you got your packet and some paper and a pencil. This is video 5.7.8. Alrighty then, these are practice problems. I know they're going to look very similar to what you have in your packet, but these are not the problems in your packet. So please don't write these down as answers in your packet because you will get them all wrong. Alright, so our problem here says, use a model to find the product of 0.26, also known as 26 hundredths, and 3. So since we have a whole number here, and we know that's a whole number because if we looked at this, we'd say, oh, that's $3, and there would be a decimal right there. But that's only 26 cents. So when we're finding the product, that means we are multiplying, which you should know by now. So we need to find the product of 26 hundredths and 3. So that just means 3 groups of 26 hundredths. So we're going to use this model right here to sketch that out and see what the answer is to that. And since this is a practice problem and it is number 1, I want you to go ahead and do this on your paper in the box for number 1. Okay, so you can see here I have modeled 26 hundredths 3 times. So here's 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. This right here in green is 26 hundredths. And then I did the same thing in yellow and the same thing in orange. So I have 3 groups of 26 hundredths. So I could count this up and figure out how much I've got. Well, I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So I have 60 hundredths so far. Then I have to count up all these 6s. Well, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. So that tells me that I have a total of 78. Or if you were counting along with me and you said, oh, there's 3 groups of 6, that is 18 hundredths. When we add them up, that gives us our 78 hundredths. But this is adding. We need to know how to multiply this because we're in the 5th grade now. So what it looks like is this, 26 hundredths, and there's usually a 0 whenever you have no whole numbers with the decimal. They put a 0 just to let you know, hey, there's a decimal coming up, times 3. So there's our decimal for the number 3. Here's what it looks like when we multiply it the 5th grade way. 6 times 3 is 18. We're going to carry that 1, put it right up there. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Now, on this number right here, we have, there's the decimal. After the decimal, there's 2 digits. Here we have nothing after the decimal. Here's the decimal, there's nothing after it, so that's 0. 2 plus 0 is 2, so we need to make sure that we have 2 digits after the decimal here, and the only way that's going to happen is if we put it here. Now we have 2 digits after the decimal. So 26 hundredths times 3 equals 78 hundredths. Okay, so here is our next practice problem. This is number 2. Make sure you're doing this on your paper. It says use a model. Here's our model to find the product of 48 hundredths and 4. So since we have a whole number and a decimal, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking 4 groups of 48 hundredths. 4 groups of 48 hundredths. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to color this in on here. While I'm doing that, pause the video and see if you colored in the correct way on your paper. Okay, I'm back. Did you get it colored in like this? So you can see I have 4 different colors because I'm multiplying 48 hundredths, or if you think about this, I have four piles of 48 cents. So here's my 48 cents in orange, and another 48 cents in green, another 48 cents in blue, and another 48 cents in yellow. So when we add all that up, what do we get? Well, we got a couple of different ways of doing this. We can just add up all these little squares here, or we can multiply. Okay, did you get yours colored in like mine is? You can see I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 48 hundredths, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 4800s, and I did them in different colors to make them easy to see. Now, like the first problem we did together, we could actually take and count up all these hundreds and find out how many there are. But we're in the 5th grade. We need to start multiplying this stuff. So we're going to take our 4800s. Remember, the 0 is there to let you know, hey, there's a decimal coming. 4800s 4 times. And then we will count it all up just to make sure that our multiplication is correct. Now also, right here we have a decimal. Where's the decimal in 4? Right there. After the decimal in the top number, we have 2 digits. After the decimal in the bottom number, we have 0 digits. So 2 plus 0 is 2. We better have 2 digits after the decimal in our answer. So let's just go ahead and put our decimal there and 2 spaces so that we know we can't have any more than 2 digits after the decimal in our answer. All right, on to our multiplication. 8 times 4 is 32. So we're going to put a plus 3 right up here and the 2 there. So there's our 30 in the tens column and 2, 32. All right, now then we have 4 times 4, which is 16, plus 3, which is 19. Now I could put the 1 up here, but do you remember what I told you last week? If you have a 0 and you're carrying above a 0, you can just put whatever number you were going to carry right down here in your answer, because 0 times 4 is 0. You'd just be adding 1 anyway, so you might as well put that 1 right down there. So I ended up with an answer of 1 and 92 hundredths, and we can see I've got 92 after the decimal, 2 digits after the decimal. All right, well, let's count it up and make sure we have that right. Let's see, we've got in this column 10 hundredths, 20, 30, 40. I'm not going to count this one, so let me remember I've got 40 in the orange. I'm not counting this one yet because it only has 8. So 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, so that puts me up to 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. All right, so I have 160 hundredths so far. 160 hundredths looks like this. We have the number 160, and it ends in the hundredths column. That's 2 spaces after the decimal. Now we just need to add up these 8s. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 8. 4 groups of 8 is 32. And since these are hundredths, 32 hundredths, let's add them up and make sure we got it. 0 and 2 is 2. 6 and 3 is 9. Drop that decimal straight down. 1 has nothing to add to it. Look at there. 1 and 92 hundredths. So 48 hundredths multiplied by 4 gives us 1 and 92 hundredths. Okay, that's the end of the easy problems. Now it starts to get weird. Okay, so you've been used to so far, when you have a number and you multiply it by another number, you get a bigger number, like 6 times 4. Well, 6 and 4 are both whole numbers. $6 4 times give us $24. Well, now you're big kids and you're dealing with decimals. What this problem means is, imagine you had 6/10ths of something, and now you need to take 4/10ths of this. Not 4/10ths of a whole, 4/10ths of what you've got. So if you had a candy bar, you split it into 10 equal pieces, you took 6 of those pieces, 6/10ths. Now, out of those 6/10ths, you need to take 4/10ths. Whoa, so that means you'd have to split the 6/10ths into 10 pieces and then take 4 of those 10 pieces. Oh my gosh, that is just mind-boggling. Well, here's how we do it. Okay, so you can see here I have modeled 4/10ths. And that's because 4/10ths is the same as 40 hundredths. So this is a tenth, that is a tenth, this column is a tenth, and this column is a tenth. So we have 4/10ths, which is the same as 40 hundredths, which I neglected to finish writing. 40 hundredths. Now we need to find 6/10ths of that. Okay, how do we do that? here's how we do it. We are going to take a different color highlighter, and we're going to take 6/10 only going this way. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 1/10 right here that I'm coloring in orange. Here's the next tenth that I'm coloring in orange. And there's 3/10. Don't pay attention to my very sloppy coloring in. 4/10. Here is 5/10 and 6/10. Now you notice I went sideways with these tenths. Now we need to figure out what is covered up. Well, if we look here, we've got just this section right here that is covered up by both colors. That's why I turned the 6/10 sideways. Now what is colored in here? And these models are just to kind of give you an idea of what's actually going on, because to be honest, you're not going to use these models all the time. This is more for you to have an understanding of what really happens when I multiply decimals together. All right, so we're going to count these up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, these are hundredths. I have 4 across here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 here. That's an array. 6 times 4 is 24. I have 24 hundredths. So my answer is 24 hundredths. The problem was 6/10 times 4/10, which gives you 24 hundredths. So remember how I said if you took your 6/10 and you split it into 10 pieces, well, here's 1/10 right here, and I split it into 10 pieces, and each one of these tenths I split into 10 pieces, and then I needed to take 4 of those tenths. I know, it can be a little confusing, but the straight up easiest way to do this is just to multiply. I have 1 digit after the decimal on the top number, 1 digit after the decimal on the bottom number. I better have 2 digits after the decimal in my answer. 6 times 4 is 24. There we go, because these zeros aren't going to make any difference. 24 hundredths. Okay, so the last 3 problems I want you to do on your own, using the models as best you can. If the models confuse you, that's okay. You should be able to at least set up the multiplication problem and give that a try. So problem number 4 is use a model to find the product of 8/10 and 5/10. It's very similar to the one we just did. Okay, problem number 5. Larissa bought 3 cookies. Each cookie cost 58 cents. Use the model to find the total cost of the 3 cookies. Make note, 3 is a whole number. Remember what we did on the first 2 problems? Similar to this. And for problem number 6 that you're going to do on your own, it says Christina cut 6 pieces of ribbon that were 12 hundredths meters each. How much ribbon did Christina have in all? Remember, this is also a whole number. This is a decimal. Going to be similar to the ones we did at the very beginning of this video. All right, give it a shot. You can do this.